Hmm. I'm loving it right now. I'm loving it. Being a born and raised Knicks fan, I've been through the highs, the lows, a lot of the lows, a lot of the fucking lows. But all it's
I'm
feeling
feeling
good
for
right
you right
now. It feels real good right now to be a Knicks fan right now. I came in front. Even though we won game over 500, it felt like we won a championship. No, I'm lying. But it feels good though.
That's how it is to be a Knicks fan. You feel like you want a
Yeah,
champion.
son. Yo, because if you a
now.
legit Knicks
Yo,
fan, you know how it feel. What B? What?
not listen. Listen, one thing about me, I'm not a Knicks fan, and we grew up. My brother. We grew up in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
but I was never a Knicks. Like, what I'm saying? I grew up more a Jordan fan. Like, I gravitated towards Mike, but I was never like a of the Knicks. Like, when they do good, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because the city feels different.
It's different.
The people
It's
feel
different.
different. It's a different.
That's a fact. Like when
Definitely,
New
man.
York, when the Knicks do good, New York feels different if you're a sports fan. For everyday people, you don't give a fuck. But for legit sports fans, the
Yep.
city feels different when you're a Knicks fan, and when Knicks do good, that's why people say when the Knicks do good, the NBA feels different, New York feels different, all that. It's not even a lie.
So
Even,
that
but
was one of our questions. Is New
yeah,
York still a Knicks town with the Nets winning? I
it's
don't feel like even with the buzz of the Nets,
mhm.
it's like the Yankees and Mets at this point. When the Yankees are rocking, there's nothing anybody could do. Even more the Giants and Jets, because when the Mets were winning, they went to the championship.
Yeah.
The 80s. I grew up in the 80s. I became a Mets fan because I was a kid in the 80s and it was rocking. But I think the Giants versus Jets, this is a Giants town. So do you feel that way? Like, nah, the Nets only got it because the Knicks suck. If the Knicks really, really get rocking, forget about it.
I think New York will always be a Knick town because it's the Knicks. It's the Mecca. Well, Knicks not the Mecca, but the Garden is the Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, locally, the Knicks are the buzz. Like any back page is going to be the Knicks. Nationally, the Nets got it. They got three of the best players in the world on their team, and they busting everybody ass at the moment.
That's a good point.
But New York is always going to be a Knick town. That's at the end of the day. But Nets fans don't care about that. They say they don't care about that, but Nets fans don't care about that. Knicks fans, we don't care about that because we used to this. If Knicks do good, it's gonna be all over national media. If Knicks do bad, it's over national media. Regardless, I think it's gonna be to answer the question blatantly. New York is still a Knicks town. New York's still regardless.
Yeah. What you think, D? Because come on,
I mean, as a Nets fan, and just like we all grew up in New York, like the heart and soul of this city, basketball wise, is always gonna go through the orange and blue. It's always gonna go through the Knicks. Like it's just ingrained in the DNA of New Yorkers. Like it's just the Knicks represent that grittiness, the hardcore work. That's why that '90s Knicks squad, with Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason, John Starks, Oakley, like that was the heartbeat of the city. Like just them in the '90s, like that. They were the lunch pail crew. Like Pat Riley had them playing defense. They represented New York, and I think that just for us growing up, even though I wasn't a Knicks fan like that, you knew that was what the city represented. It was through the Knicks. And I don't think that's going to ever change because you got the Knicks have history here. You know what I'm saying? Despite them, the last championship was 73, still the heart and soul of this city is always going to be the Knicks. I mean, I represent Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets. I wasn't a Nets fan, but once they came to Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Me being from Brooklyn, us Brooklynites, we feel like Brooklyn's like its own universe. So I gravitated towards that. Like I was like, fuck that. I wasn't a Knicks fan, so I'm like, yo, I can be a Nets fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can get behind this. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm like, yo, I was a Knicks fan and then they came to Brooklyn, I jumped on the Nets bandwagon. Nah. You know what I'm saying? But it's always going to be a New York Knicks town. Even if the Nets win a chip, Brooklyn, the borough's going to celebrate by themselves. But the rest of the city and the state,
that's the thing.
Always Knicks fans.
I think a part of it also is that none of them came from here. Like they weren't homegrown. Like Durant, Kyrie, or Harden. They're not like right now. To have Randall at 26 years old, he really didn't have a home. He went from the Lakers to the Pelicans, and now he's here. RJ Barrett is excited to see him come up, and even the jump that made Julius Randle, he's having a career high in a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna pull up his stats right here. 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Those are all career highs. 40% from three. 40% from three.
Yeah,
and like 30. That's amazing. Like that
surprising.
Alone, we were talking off Mike Z. You really don't like Randall on a fast break. You get a little nervous.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not even going front. Last year I hated Julius Randle. I wanted him going ASAP. I would have packed his bags myself and sent him out of New York. But we got a whole new coaching staff. We got his college assistant coach on the staff, and it drove him. It motivated him. And bullying works, I guess. Online bullying works because he's playing a whole different type of game right now. Like he's averaging a career high. I can't say probably across the board, maybe. Yeah, you said all career highs.
Free throw, 3-point percentage.
Yeah, he's making everybody better. Like last year, he was driving, spinning in the lane against 4 or 5 defenders and trying to take it up. Now he's noticing his defects from last year, kicking it out to different players and all that. Like he knows he was fucking up last year. He put that in his Players Tribune that he was messing up last year, and this year he worked hard, and now he's reaping the benefits. He's a first-time All-Star, and he deserved to be a first-time All-Star. Last year he put up good numbers, but it wasn't helping the team at all. He was trash last year for team-wise.
You think the contract helped him out?
He ain't getting a new contract. He has the same contract. He's still on the same. I think we signed him for a 3-year contract with a player option. Like this year, we can pick up the option to keep him, but next year, then he'll be a free agent the following year. So he's on the. I guess you can say. You can say he's on maybe a contract year right now, but he's on the team option. It may have motivated him. Who knows? Hopefully it didn't. As far as next year, we'll pick him up and then he'll be trash again. I hope not, because maybe he could be like a building block. If so, send him out of here again. Send him out of here. I don't care.
It's a team option. Are you sure? I was looking at it earlier.
I'm positive he has a team option. Yeah, team option. And we can extend him the following year.
Well, I was just looking at them play, and I felt like I know there's a team option on Mitchell Robinson.
He might be. I think it's possible he could be a restricted free agent if we don't pick up his option. Maybe. I don't think we should extend him yet. I think we should pick up his option only, not extend him, but pick up his option. Okay. He doesn't deserve to be extended yet. He hasn't proven anything. I love Mitch. That's my guy. But he hasn't proven anything. Like you can find somebody who can grab 8 rebounds off the street at this point in the NBA. But he hasn't really proven anything at this point.
No, but he's been doing a lot of Hoodie Mellow business where he's in the off season shooting threes, fooling me on my time. I don't like that.
Sham God Mitch, my God.
Yes.
I don't want none of that. Keep that in your spare time. Do not bring that on the court.
But I do like that he is long, and he can get across the field, across the court. You can't teach that, and they don't really have that. And to do a pick and roll with that's what this guy needs, especially with RJ Barrett. We were saying earlier, like RJ Barrett and what am I Julius Randle. They're really the same kind of player, left-handed. Right. Yep. 3-point shot got better.
Drive. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love seeing. I was nervous on the Lakers. He couldn't get it together. He reminded me of Antoine Walker a lot. he would come
Julius
down.
Randle? Yeah.
Yes, big body. The way he dribbled was like ridiculous. But now it seems way more controlled, and I love seeing a rebound. And when they kick it to, they immediately give it to Julius Randle, and he knows who to give it to. So he makes great decisions on the fast break. Those are easy points. I love seeing that. He's shooting this well. That's what got me hyped. Because to be honest with you, it is difficult for me to watch the Knicks. I was watching a couple of games earlier. And I'm just like, who could? That's why I tweeted earlier, like, yo, it is tough watching this. It's like the Pistons from 15 years ago. You can't. It's not greatness we're watching here. At least the bad boy Pistons made it bloody and ugly and brought some Joker excitement, some villain excitement. But do the Knicks need a villain? Who do you think they can add in the offseason?
The offseason or now?
Either or. Trade.
Okay, I'll start with now. For the trade deadline, we can possibly add somebody like maybe a buddy, somebody like a low key trade. Somebody we could like send off like a like 2 second-round picks. We got mad at those picks. Maybe like a Buddy Hield. And Terrence Ross.
Yo.
Like players like that. We don't need like a big time trade like a Andre Drummond or Victor Oladipo. Andre Drummond, he's redundant next to Julius Randle. Victor Oladipo can't stay healthy, and he has to be re-signed in the off season. So he's a dub. I'll say in the off season we can possibly pick up. I was looking at players like Gary Trent Jr. Like him next to RJ would be perfect. Somebody who could defend and just hit threes. Like he'd be letting it off. Like plays like that. Like Knicks fans be looking at big time players, and them players still don't want to come to Knicks right now, and you can't blame them. So keep it low key. Keep players with the same mindset of when you come in, you're gonna work hard, and Tibbs gonna make niggas work.
Yeah.
So somebody like Gary Trent Jr. He'll come in, he'll defend, he'll hit threes, and he'll play his role. I don't think Portland gonna let him go, but yeah, plays like that. I don't see us getting nobody big in the off season. I'll be highly surprised if Kawhi Leonard decide to pull up to New York. I don't see it happening, but yeah, because he's a free agent, but I don't see it happening at all.
Yeah, I don't see any marquee like superstars coming to the Knicks. But I mean, you never know.
Right.
You never know what happened in the offseason. I don't see. Obviously, it's not gonna happen during the trade deadline. But Gary Trent, that would be a good pick for the Knicks. He definitely fits the DNA with Tibbs, man. Like, and I want to know how much y'all think Tibbs probably has an effect on Julius Randle, because I always thought he was a good player, but I never seen him play like this ever. Like I never thought he would be like this when he was with the Lakers, and just to see him perform, it's beautiful to see. You want to, as a fan of basketball, you want to see players thrive and see players improve. And is he even a contender for like most improved player of the year, or he's not considered in that category?
Who, Julius Randle?
Well, y'all see him getting that? Yeah. Or he's just, the Knicks, he's just thriving. I mean, he was putting up decent numbers before, but man, he's balling all-star. Like this is crazy. I'm actually happy for him. Actually happy for the Knicks, man, because I feel like they overachieved. Y'all definitely overachieved to me in my eyes. I didn't think being fifth or even possibly the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference this year. Even with the East being what it is, you still got the teams at the top. But man, the Knicks, to me, I can't front as much as Ray. You feel you can't. It's hard to watch. I actually like seeing what they're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? It feels good for the city. It feels good that the Nets are playing good, and you get the Knicks playing good. It just feels good for like New York sports to me.
I like how B throws in this fluffery, bro. Do you watch Knicks games? Do you even watch? Don't even tell me. Of course, you watch Knicks games from beginning to end like a Nets game. At least one this year.
Come on, son. Have I watched one Knicks game?
From beginning to end.
I watched highlights.
Exactly.
Nah, I can never say that.
Well, calling me out.
The only full games I've probably watched is Nets games. Not even like the broadcast games. watched a full Lakers game or whoever else is playing on TNT or TBS. Because they're not my interests. I'm just more invested in the Nets. Like, I'm a Yankees fan. I'm not watching a Mets game, even if the Mets are doing good. I'll watch the highlights and see what's going on. Like, oh, they doing good. All right, what's going on? Who's pitching? Who's hitting? Like, who's doing this? Like, who's doing that? Who's in their lineup? I'll do that. I'll do my research on that. But yeah, nah. Don't try to put me on the spot, bro. Cut that shit.
You put me on the spot. He put me on the spot talking about. I know. Ray said. Anyway, you did bring up that Tibbs. Is Tibbs that good? I know he had the run in Minnesota that kind of sullied his name, but Doc Rivers hasn't won since he had Tibbs on his team. We all forget that. And now he's back with the Knicks. Now he's back with the Knicks. His name is back up there. I mean, this to go from, and I know we should talk about Leon Rose and Worldwide West, of course, being with the Knicks. I'm glad we don't have to bring up Steve Stout. I don't like that. But you got to give credit to Leon Rose and Worldwide West for this, for the player relationship, stuff like that. So that being said, Tibbs is the general on the court, though. So is he that good? What has stood out, if you can see anything, like in terms of getting out coaching the other team's coach?
I think Tibbs is. I think he's that good. Like the record shows it. If you look at the Knicks on paper, you wouldn't think there'll be a game over 500 at this point in the season. Even the I don't pay attention to them, but I think ESPN or the Basketball Players Index, whatever they are, they had Knicks winning 22 games this season. 22. They had 19 right now.
Was that far-fetched?
I had them winning. I think I had them win between like 27 and 30, maybe, possibly. It's not. Yeah, 27 and 30, maybe. I think I could be wrong.
So you're happy to be wrong?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I think Tibbs is that good because it's when I saw that in the article I was reading, like before the season started, he wanted players to come in shape because normally players come in not in shape and then they work their way into shape. He wanted players to come in. He said, "Yo, nah, y'all gonna be in shape before y'all even get to training camp." His training camp was it was like a short training camp this year. He expected a lot of these players because he knew he's gonna play them 45 minutes a game, basically his star players. And right now, Randall's playing, I think, 38 minutes. He's like right behind Harden. And I think Julie and RJ's probably top 10 in the league in minutes. He's playing them like heavy minutes because he expected more of them because he's gonna lean on them. He told you come in shape because that's why. And he expected a lot of them. And if you listen to any of these niggas' interviews, they say they love Tibbs, and the coaching staff is the entire coaching staff. It makes a lot different between last year because last year the players they ain't giving their all. They came in, they did what they had to do, whatever. They got their numbers up, they got paid or they got traded to different teams, and then they did that. Yeah, that's it. Tibbs we got a competent coach for once.
You want to chime in, D, or?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you brought up a good point. Like with Tibbs, making these guys work out, getting playing shape before camp. I mean, yeah, because obviously the season was short with COVID. The finals was just a few months ago, and for them to have that turnaround around Christmas, the week of Christmas, the minutes per game, and I think Ray, you had said this we was talking about this a few episodes back, or we might. I don't know if it was off camera or whatever we was talking about, and you mentioned Derrick Rose and how he got hurt, and like Tibbs is like just running them too much. I think when he got hurt, like the last garbage time in the fourth quarter, when Derrick Rose got that first injury, I'm just worried. I was just looking up Julius Randle's minutes per game. It's not that crazy. It's not bad. It's
like 38, 39.
36 minutes per game. Yeah. I'm looking at what's this Basketball Reference? It's 36.7 at the minute. That's decent. I was worried. I'm like, man, I hope he ain't gonna be running these boys into the ground, man, because I mean that was his reputation too. I was worried about that.
Yeah, that's my only problem with him.
Is that? But he's shown that he can get past that. He found because it feels like he does like a playoff rotation during the regular season, and it's just like, bro. And these guys are young. They're the top 10 youngest team in the league. I think they're tied for 9th or whatever it is. So they can do that. All the older teams are basically playoff teams besides them. I think they're the only playoff team in the top 10 youngest teams. And they average, I think, 25, 26 years old. So they can do that. And it's crazy that he's not running them to the ground. But I think with Derrick Rose, he was bound to get hurt. I don't think he was gonna. He was an injury prone dude. I don't think he was gonna, like, Westbrook is a different guy. Westbrook had similar injuries, I think, and he just bounced back. He's an animal. You can't control the Wolverine blooded dude. Derrick Rose, unfortunately, you know, I love both in their prime. It just, you know, as a sidebar, but I thought Derrick Rose was on his way to be. He played with like a higher IQ, and that's what the Tibbs loves, is the higher IQ guys. But even, like I was saying, defensively, do you notice anything the last 2 or 3 years that maybe he does where you go, oh, that's what he brings to the game? Because I really don't. I know he loves the Joakim Noahs of the world because of that, and the Kevin Garnetts because of that. But, like, what does Julius Randle play differently under him?
I think the entire team plays differently under him because he expects a lot out of him. If you're not, I'll say, his favorite players, you'll get benched if you're not really playing legit defense. Like Julius Randle, he can slack off a possession or two on defense because he's putting up 23, 11, and 5. Like he's allowed to do that. But somebody like, I think, Alfred Payton or whoever else, if you're slacking up 2 possessions in a row on defense, you have to go into the bench. And he holds everybody accountable. Julius Randle, he was on it was either Julius Randle, IQ, or Obi. One of them was on this interview and saying he holds the player, the star player, and the last player on the bench accountable, like the same way. And that's what players like. Like he don't hold, and he don't. It's no star treatment basically. It's probably is, but not as far as work ethic. So everybody gets the same kind of accountability. Like if you're not gonna work your ass off on defense while you're on the court, you're going to the bench. And I think that's what we needed. Like New York is known for defense, and he came in with the mindset of we're gonna play defense first, and then we're gonna figure everything else afterwards. Julius, he started playing defense. He plays better defense than he did last year, but it's more team defense than anything.
So is it too early, or is it safe to say that this is the best coach since Pat Riley?
No, I can't say that. I can't, because then I'll be knocking Mike Woodson because he gave us 54 wins. That was the last time we made it to the playoff. Last time we made it to the playoffs, matter of fact. In 2012, 2013, when Melo's third in MVP voting, we pioneered basically 3-point shooting, even though people want to say that was Steph Curry, but New York was shooting number 3s that year. And we made it to the second round of the playoffs. So I'll say he's the best coach we had since Mike Woodson, who's on the coaching staff right now.
So I had a question about there being a Pat Riley curse. Because I think I thought it was a great point about Mike Woodson. I forgot he did do that well. But since Pat Riley left in '95, he's been to 6 chips and he's won 3.
Yeah.
And he controlled the team. And all he wanted to do was, I think he wanted partial ownership probably, and that's why they said no. But for him to run the team, turn Miami around the way that he did, do you think anything like, maybe we could have gotten LeBron and D-Wade in New York back then? Did it finally, when Donnie Walsh was here, they ruined that. They traded the entire team for Carmelo. That was silly. That kind of them winning as well. So do you think Pat Riley not being here, there may be a little goat curse going on with Riley?
I'll say with that, Riley wanted complete autonomy and I guess ownership of whatever goes on. He wanted to be the coach, and he wanted whatever happens in the front office. He wanted final say on it. And back then, James Dolan, he didn't want none of that. James Dolan, he wasn't there yet. I think he got in 2000. Yeah, it wasn't there yet.
Check is the guy with the owns the Rangers also.
Yeah, Dolan got, I think, 2000. So I'm wrong about that. But yeah, Pat Riley, he wanted complete ownership of everything, and I guess ownership didn't want him. They didn't want him having none of that. So he probably dipped off and he left. I can't say that we'll probably have LeBron if we had Pat Riley. It's hard to say because then there's what ifs. Because then you can say what if for anything. What if Carmelo wasn't traded during midseason? We got him during the off season. We'll have our full team plus Melo. Who knows how far we went? Yeah, it's hard to say.
But I don't think Riley would have. That's my point. I think Riley would have been like,
yeah, yeah,
not trading the whole team. But he's just diligent like that.
Yeah, Riley is different. That's the thing. Like, I don't know what happened. I have to read more into what happened with Riley back then, like in 95, 96, while he really left. But from what I heard, he really wanted like full autonomy, like what he says goes. And maybe they should have gave him that because look, all his teams since then.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah. Like Miami has been, I can't say flourishing, but they won, like you said, they won championships since then. They've been relevant since then.
Totally relevant. I thought you could even look at Riley and see that it's like a sliding doors effect. He looks like an old Miami dude right now, old cool Miami dude, but he could have easily looked like an old Wall Street dude. you know what I'm saying?
Right, that's a fact.
Yo, I did want to add for the off season. I had a list here because I did see Oladipo was unrestricted, and you don't care for him, but Kyle Lowry's unrestricted, and Jared Allen is restricted. But I think the Knicks should offer him the whole shebang and bring him back to New York because he fits amazing.
Yeah, he'll fit perfectly. Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
I can't say that because my guy Gritty, he would kill me for saying that. But yeah, Jared Allen, he would fit perfectly with the Knicks.
We are on record. I'm on record on here talking about that Jared Allen. I mean, the Harden trade doesn't happen without Jared Allen. I get it, but that piece to me that hurt most, the Jared Allen trade. Like just because I knew his potential, he was doing great, man.
You see his numbers now.
They started this season. Look, bro, it's ridiculous. He's a future star. I'm telling you, like he's gonna be a problem. The Nets are gonna regret that. I mean, unless they win a championship with James Harden, but still, man, having him, if you still have with this team, I don't see anybody beating him, man, because he's the rim protector. He can score, rebound, defense. Young dude's only 22, and he's looking great in Cleveland, man. So if the Knicks or whoever tries to get him, that's a great pickup for whoever gets him.
That's the first player that stood out to me when I was looking at the list. I saw he was restricted, but I'm like, a guy like Tibbs, he would do everything in their power. Worldwide West and Leon Rose could create that relationship with Jared Allen. Then maybe we could finally fit in, this guy Steve Stout, and tell him like, I'll send you to Rock Nation. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever it is it takes to give you whatever endorsements. You'll be the man. Like he would be the man in New York. If you bring him like to anchor the defense, like he's amazing to watch, to be honest with you. I didn't watch many Nets games before, but I love watching Jared Allen on Cleveland. My
thing about him, Cleveland, that was like they made trade piece, so they're not letting him go. Whatever anybody offers him, they're matching that. You can offer him $5 million. I mean, $500 million. They're gonna match that because that was their main trade piece. They wanted him. That's why Drummond is gonna be traded off soon. He's not going anywhere, so it'll be pointless for the Knicks to even try to attempt to tie up their cap to offer him something. Because Cleveland's not letting him. They don't let him go at all.
Okay, I would have thrown the whole entire kitchen sink and everything to try to eat, whatever it is, to try to get him. But you don't like what's his name, Oladipo? You don't. Nah. He's injury prone. He
plays well, but like he's injury prone. He can put up 30 points 2 games in a row. Next game he's rehabbing his quad that he injured last year. It's like, bro, come on. So starting today, you're officially a Knicks fan today. Starting today. I'm officially a Knicks fan, baby. We got you see the Knicks fan up. You see the logo. We're in the building. See the crazy. So I don't want to hear you say I don't even say I'm not sure anymore.
Nah.
You got ride through these losses and these wins.
Again, I was hyped when I didn't like the way they got Carmelo, but the way that they've dressed the team up right now, it's the same way that the Nets did it. I was hyped off that.
Yeah, that's the fact they did. So they follow the Nets blueprint. Yeah, I give them that.
I don't say Nets blueprint. I just think they're being smart.
You put the battery in Ray's back now. You got Ray charged up. He's back with the orange and blue, man.
Orange and blue.
I see it. I already see it. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, man.
I hate saying anything good about the Nets because my closest friends and my brother are Nets fans. Like I'm built the way I'm built from. I'm cut from different cloth. Like if you are part of our division, I hate you and your team. I will never say anything good about your team or about you. As far like ask Gritty, ask B, Damel, my brother, other brother. He's a Boston fan randomly. I can't say anything good about Celtics either.
Yes. Let's talk about this. Our brother is a fucking Boston fan, bro. No. I don't care anything about Boston. Celtics, the Patriots.
Because of Paul Pierce.
The Penguins.
Paul Pierce.
You watch random. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I still don't.
How does he play basketball? Does he play ball?
Yeah, he plays ball.
Does he play similar to like Paul Pierce style, like awkward style?
The crazy thing is he does. He plays just like Paul Pierce. Yeah. He plays just like Paul Pierce.
Yes, I noticed that those are the biggest fans of Paul Pierce, and then they became I got two friends like that, and one of them was nice. My man Rob, he was nice in ball, but he like certain people that like because Paul Pierce was nice.
Yeah, people from Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was nice when he first got into the league. The first couple years, yeah, Paul Pierce was nice.
He was always nice to me. He was always a problem, especially for the Knicks.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see. That's why I said I don't mind seeing the Nets in the first round. We're supposed to lose. We got nothing to lose.
They don't. Yeah, playing house money.
Yeah, let the kids get experience, man. That's what you want.
The Knicks, they're playing well enough. I see the Nets. I see the Knicks being better than Boston. I see them taking over that 4th seed. So they wouldn't even play the Nets in the first round. They'll be playing someone like maybe Boston, or maybe possibly Charlotte, or maybe Miami. You don't want to see Miami. Want to see Miami. Don't. That's a nightmare. Miami's going to be the wild card.
They're going
to be.
You got it right.
No, just the seed, the 5 through 8 seeds are separated by one game, one loss, and one game in the loss column. So that's the thing. They're all pretty much even. So it is what it is. They're playing, like you said, they're playing with house money. The Pacers aren't even that good. They're waiting for the kid LeVert to come back from the injury. The Knicks aren't waiting for anyone. They're just slowly building. That's what you want. The Celtics, we would love nothing more than to play the Celtics, play with house money, and beat the Celtics. That would be great. And
my thing with the
confidence.
With the Celtics, the Celtics are missing Marcus Smart, and that's their heart. Once Marcus Smart gets back, they're gonna go on a nice little run. The Pacers may get back on track once. I can't say once LeVert get back because he never played LeVert, but LeVert he can give him a couple games. The Knicks, the only down part about them right now, their defense may carry over, but their second half schedule is crazy. Like the NBA hates the Knicks the way they gave them the schedule. I think their first 3 or 4 opponents out the break is away against playoff teams. It's like against the Nets, against Milwaukee, against not Thunder, but they lost against Thunder already. And it's like then they have at the end of the season, they have a 6-game road trip, a 6-game West Coast road trip against playoff teams. So if the Knicks make the playoffs and the top five, they're gonna earn it.
Yo, listen. You want me to give you that schedule?
Go ahead. Wow.
Listen, the schedule, bro. First
It's
game
crazy,
after
bro.
All-Star break, they play Milwaukee at Milwaukee. Second game at OKC. I could see them winning that game. Then they come back to Brooklyn. They play BK. That I was trying to get tickets for that game. They still got tickets, but they had nosebleed seats. But anyway, and then after they play Brooklyn, the day after they play Brooklyn, they play the Sixers. And then they go back to the Garden. They play Orlando. I can see them winning there. But then after that, a few days later, you got to play the Sixers again. And then you play Washington for that back-to-back. You play them two games in a row at the Garden. I could toss-up games. I can see the Knicks winning those.
They may win
Milwaukee, Miami.
Yeah, see?
Damn.
Like, coming out the break is crazy. Yeah, that's why they had to win this Detroit game. The one they just won. They had to win that game.
Exactly. And when those games like that, that's, again, going back to the Nets. When they won the games they were supposed to win, that's what gave me confidence in them. Like, all right, when you're a good team, you beat the team you're supposed to and you kill them. Like Sacramento, they destroyed them. So with the Nets, the Knicks, we expect them to lose against the Phillies of the world and the Nets. But these are a test. That's a test for Julius Randle. Like I want to see what Julius Randle does in that position when you don't have anyone on the offense. Because guess what? That's what's going to happen during these spurts. When you are good, the team's going to rely on you because you are the best offensive player that they have right now. I want to see that. That's what we're going to see what they're made of. Especially Julius. I want to see him show his skill set. When Mitchell Robinson comes back, maybe we'll see something else. But I love this. This gets me. I'm really hyped up because the Nets already had their little run on the West Coast and they proved themselves. Now it's the Knicks' turn.
But the Knicks is different from the Nets because the Nets have 3 superstars compared to the Knicks with one. I can't call Julius Randle barely an all-star. I'll say an all-star. He doesn't have a secondary player right now. RJ, he's gonna be that one day, but the way their offense is terrible. Like, it's terrible. If they're not randomly hitting threes in the game, they're gonna have to rely heavily on their defense. And then the way the league is set up, every team is attempting a good 30 or 40 threes a game. The Knicks are barely. I think the Knicks are like the bottom 5 in attempts a game in threes. The percentage is up, but the attempts are down. I think they're attempting probably like 20 threes a game. Every other team is attempting 30 or 40 threes a game, and they can't keep up with that kind of pace. And once the playoffs start, matter of fact, I'm not even talking about the playoffs right now. Like, they have to keep this pace up going into the playoffs right now because it's going to be hard for them. That's why they're gonna have to make some kind of move for a secondary scorer off the bench or into offense this deadline, like Terrence Ross or a Justin Holiday, who else? I said, can't think of someone else I said. Yeah, those two, like players like that. That's what you need. Somebody who will defend and shoot threes because the players they have right now, and they line up aren't knocking down the clip that they need.
2 guys that they talk about all the time. One is obvious because this guy Tibbs coached him was Karl Anthony Towns. What do you think about him?
I like Cat, but he's not coming up there. I don't see it happening. Like, I don't see the point of the T-Wolves trading him because I say worst/best case scenario for them. They lose out the rest of the season. They end up in the top 3, which they get to keep their pick. If they fall in the top 3, that pick goes to Warriors. So if they end up 4, the Warriors get the top 5 pick in the top 5 pick and a deep draft. So if the Wolves end up with the top 3 pick, they could put somebody like, I'll say, a Cade Cunningham or a Jalen Suggs next to Cat and next to D'Lo, and that'll be perfect. And they can build off that. I don't see a point of them trading Karl Anthony Towns right now. Just keep building. Like, they having an off year because they was hit by COVID, they was hit by injuries. They trash right now, but they was hit by a lot of stuff, and they just fired their coach. If they end up trading Karl Anthony Towns to us, I hope for something small, like probably, I can't say small, like Mitchell Robinson, but Mitchell Robinson maybe, but I don't see him trading him. Like, those are pipe dreams, I think. if I'm management for T Wolves, I wouldn't trade him. I'll just keep building. Like I say, I'll think in my head, we're gonna keep losing, be trash anyway, and we can put a great player in this draft next to already great players, and next year we can keep going with that because they play very young.
My thing is with him, I sense that he's kind of frustrated there. Does he even want to stay in Minnesota? Like, you think he wants to
so, because
stay there, or he wants to go?
I think he wants to stay because they just traded for his best friend, as I don't call it, their best friend as far as D'Angelo Russell. They just traded for him last year, and I read a stat. I think him and D'Angelo Russell probably played a good, I think, less than 15 games together since they made that trade. So that's why it was unfair that they fired the coach. So once they actually get going or actually get healthy, they may work something. They may actually start building towards something. I say keep it going. Like they're not even close to being there for them to even start blowing it up. Yeah, players are still young. They're younger than 25 years old, or they're 25 and younger. So keep it going. Might as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the way Karl-Anthony Towns moves. I think the older he's getting, and he's only like 4 or 5 years in the league. He looks.
I think he's not in shape. He had COVID.
Okay, maybe it's that, but I don't like the way it's almost like Greg Oden.
Also, his tragedy he faced too, man. Like,
yep,
his family, man. Like, he went through a lot.
Well, I will understand, mentally if you didn't have confidence, but I'm saying physically, the way he runs, it looks weird. It looks like it's almost like he's struggling. Yeah, it was like that with Greg Oden too, and I forgot who else. And also, I don't like the fact that Kevin Love thing. Kevin Love ain't all that. He was doing 30-30s, 30 rebounds, 30 points, but that was for a losing effort. And then you saw on Cleveland, I don't think Kevin Love was that big of a deal on Cleveland. They could have done better with somebody else. I liked his outlet passes and shit like that, but what is Karl-Anthony Towns really doing for you to be a big man? And he is that talented, and you're not a winning team or at least a 500 team. That's telling, man. KG had a bunch of bums around him, but he was never a loser. I mean, they always were a perennial playoff team, and you saw in Boston what that defense was made of. But I don't like that from seeing a potential superstar. Now, you can't get paid like one, just like you said about Siakam. Yo, you come over here, you be secondary, third. You'll be a complimentary player, especially around Randall. He can throw that alley. You open up the game for him. And he shoots the three. That's the thing about Towns, he rebounds and he shoots that three. So that's great. But that amount of money, that's tough to take on. The other player I wanted to bring up was Dame Lillard. They flirt with that guy coming to New York all the time. I think we all love Dame Lillard. Would you want to see him though on the Knicks?
Hell yeah, but that's not happening. Dame made it clear like Dame is, like I said, Dame's cut from different cloth too. Like he's not leave. He don't want to chase a bigger market or chase a ring. So he'd rather players come to him and he recruit them, and he wants to get done in Portland, which makes sense because I think Portland, what they should do is go after like a Vucevic from Orlando. It'll be perfect next to him. But I don't see Dame just sounded like a supermax probably like a year or two ago. He's locked into his deal. He's not coming to the Knicks.
Yeah. He's not leaving.
That's a pipe dream. Yeah, nah.
Okay.
He's like a throwback player to that old era. Just like, I'm staying with this team.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm built whatever pieces. Yeah, we're gonna build around that. We're gonna win here. He's anti big three. I'm going here to join up with so and so. Like he's adamant about that. Like he's very open about that. Even recently, up until this week, he spoke on. You know what I'm saying? So I love Dame. I love everything about him, bro. That's one of my favorite players in this league. He's been one of my favorite players since he came into the league. And I hope he stays in Portland, man. Portland,
me too. I do
Oregon,
too.
Yeah, that whole area. They need a team like Portland, and I wish Seattle, Washington would get like the Supersonics back. That would be dope. If I heard Ray Allen is trying to make that happen. But just that whole area of America, they need a team like that, or they need someone that can lead, a team they can lean on like that, like the Seahawks, or Portland Trailblazers. So, yeah, man, I love Dame, man.
Yeah, that's why I always I can't say secretly, like I root for Portland because, like I said, Dame, like you said, Dame is from a different era. His mindset, he wants to do it in Portland because it'll feel a lot sweeter in Portland, wherever he does. So management is smart. They'll go for a player like a Vucevic and trade somebody like a pick on a couple players for him because that's a 25 and 10 player right there. To put next to Dame and CJ, that'll be good. They need players like that.
I don't know how Portland could really be helped. Besides, I don't know what else they need. Vucevic would help, but you do want to see Dame. It was the same thing with Kevin Garnett. You just want to see a guy like that in the championship because it was going back to when we won the 5B podcast, B, and it's like after a while you can notice that Kobe and KG, maybe Duncan, but at least with Kobe and KG, you can see they're the only ones that give a fuck out here. And Dame is like that. And I mean, the NBA is different than 20 years ago. I mean, it seems like way more players care. They have way more pride now. Yeah. That's visible. But Dame especially. Dame shows it. Even Westbrook in a sense. That's why we love Westbrook. That's why we hate the fact that he's plays at a low IQ. But damn, if we don't want you, we want to see you win the championship, bro. That because we like when we watch the game, we think we're you. That's how we would think we were on. So Dame just all that showing off, Dame time, and the way he's, even Steph, he gets a little carried away, and he was bitching and moaning last week, and I didn't appreciate him. He felt the social media wrath. But even all that showing off shit, like it's fun. At the end of the day, it's sports. Like it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be. We're not all Tim Duncan. Like we don't want to play like that. We entertained. No disrespect to.
Nah, I get you.
Yo, listen. The fact that you brought up Steph, Steph is. We gotta give Steph credit this year, man, because the first few games, everyone was writing about. Yeah, hell yeah. Yo, bro.
For what?
Steph balling, man. For what?
He's balling. He's balling.
Yo, listen. Listen. What? Those first few games this year, a lot of people, media was writing him. I'm like, yo, this dude can't do shit without Clay. Yo, I mean, look at their position. They have a fighting
Top
chance
10, right?
to get in the play.
Yeah.
But yo, man, Steph's been balling this year, man. He dropped a 62-point game. Like he reminded people because he was hurt. He reminded people like, all right, this is why I got those MVPs. Like this is why I do what I do. This is why the game changed. This is why your favorite player is shooting threes now, shooting from the logo, LeBron, Dame,
logo LeBron.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, but logo LeBron. Steph, Steph is balling this shit, man. I just want to give him a shout out on him, man. He doing his thing. But Dame is my dude. Dame Dollar.
Yeah.
Dame time, baby.
Don't play both sides, B. You want to get him, Z, or should I get him?
Nah, get him. Yeah, he kind of playing both sides. You got him.
No. It's not about playing. I'm a Nets fan. Fuck all that shit. We're talking about players now. Individual players. Dame is my dude. But let's give Steph his props.
The Knicks are in the background right now, first of all. The Knicks are in the background right now.
Who gives a fuck? No,
second of all.
We can't even see the Knicks logo. We can't even see it. I mean, I don't see it. When the Nets logo's up there, it's there. It's on the side. You see it right here. You see it right here. I don't see no Knicks shirt on you. I don't see a Knicks shirt on my brother. Stop it. My brother's hat is black and white. It's a paper plays.
You lucky
by
I don't
Jay-Z,
get my Knicks
who
hat
helped
right
bring
now.
the Nets to
I should get my Knicks hat right now. You lucky.
So
I don't like getting up right now.
you look at I look at my
Go ahead.
so the reason why you don't even realize you just became a hypocrite in real time is because Dame and Steph are rivals. So the whole point of this year is that wait a minute, Steph is doing. You had your time. You had your couple seconds of leisure. Dame and is playing great. Steph is playing great, probably as the best he can play, and the Warriors are basically garbage. Dame Lillard, this is not even the best he's ever played, and they're in the mix. Not 8th seed, not 7th seed, not 6th seed. They're like 4th or 3rd seed, and he's missing McCollum. He's missing his Robin. He's missing Nurkic, right?
And he broke his wrist.
So to say that Steph is missing Clay or whatever it is, yeah, we want to see what you want to do, Steph. We want to see that. That's right. This is sports, baby. Dame Lillard is coming out. It is Dame time, my man. That's why I've been rooting for Dame for that. I like Steph, don't get me wrong. He is the best shooter of all time. But when it comes down to it, he is a different player in the playoffs. And yes, Dame, you can say the same about Dame, but Dame did not have the luxury of having that organization. Nurkic was hurt the year before also. So there was a lot of criticism about Dame before this year. And it's funny that he's in 3rd or 4th place and he has that rivalry with Steph and he's outshining him when your boy is back and Clay's on the bench. Now what you going to do, Steph? Nothing, B. And then
hold on. Wait a minute. Go ahead. Keep going.
I thought that was over with because you try to play both sides like, but I'm a Dame fan.
It's not over. It's not over. It's not over though. Wait, how many points did Steph drop on Dame earlier this year? Who has the highest scoring game this year?
So what?
Against what team?
So I hope he won.
Dame. They did win. Dame had to give props. And you know what he said after the game? After Steph dropped that 62? Yo, I got to give respect when respect is due. At the end of the game, at half court, first play Dame goes up to with Steph. He had to show that love. They have a common respect for each other because they're kind of similar, and the comparisons came there because last year Dame was doing this thing, got pulled into playoffs. Dame is my guy. I like him over Steph. Steph is a better player, but I prefer Dame Dollar. But listen,
Z.
The respect.
Dame put up 64.
The respect is there, bro.
Well, that's not what.
Definitely, but not against Golden State. What are you saying?
You can't. You got to choose a side.
What are you saying?
Went from saying, "Yo, they were shitting on Steph early on," and deservedly so. If you're supposed to be that good,
they were. Why? Why?
Because
he's averaging. Yo, bro, he's in the top 5 in scoring. They're in contention. Right? They're only a half game back of 8th place. They're right there. It's the West Coast. Come on, son. Like no one expected Golden State to do good without Clay. They're in 5th place. Portland's in 5th.
Yes, exactly. We did Golden State. Yes,
I expect them to do. I expect them to be in the playoffs at least.
Where did you have them though? What did you have them though, Ray? What did you have?
Where Portland is?
Oh, I have them that high.
Hell no!
I had
Golden State.
I had Golden State probably 7 through 10 this year.
Okay,
and that's why I had them.
And Draymond's not the same. Draymond's even worse than before. His shooting is worse.
He's an X factor, but I would trade him for somebody decent. But then again, you trade your heart and soul.
Yeah, he's having a bad season.
Who's taking
on his worst season?
Yeah.
I
wouldn't trade Draymond until I get Clay back, though.
Who is taking on Draymond Green?
Nobody.
They have no suitors.
Yeah, No, I can't think about it off the top of my head.
Nah. I just can't. It doesn't make sense.
No, Golden State is only a half game back. They're only a half game back of your Dallas. Oh wait, yo Z, he loves Dallas.
No, I love that.
No, we need Dallas to fail.
Son.
All negative energy to Dallas right now. I don't need no positive energy for Dallas. You got that pick.
I was trying to root for them because they traded KP over there, but can't do it. I couldn't do it because it's like Mark Cuban's trying to create the new Ku Klux Klan on the Mavericks. Like he's blatantly trying to get every great white player that there is. And it's just like I love Luka, but he's another ball. He was the ball 35 times, man.
I think everybody loves Luka, but as a Knicks fan, I need them to lose because we got that pick. I need all losses, all negative energy for Dallas. I need them to lose every game.
Is it protected?
Nah, I'm protected. This pick.
Oh wow!
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why a lot of Knicks fans are saying that the Knicks possibly won this trade because the Dallas Mavericks aren't doing as good as people projected them to do. They're projected to be like a top five team this year, but the fact that they're teetering on the playoffs and possibly out the playoffs, the Knicks may get a lottery pick on top of maybe theirs if they don't make the playoffs. So it'll be 2 lottery picks in a deep draft. And his draft is tight. His draft is a deep draft. Yep. The lottery pick that's protected for them is 2023. That's like top 10 protected or some shit.
You need a little luck sometimes, man.
Yeah. So I need all negative vibes for Dallas.
I'm getting my Santeria stuff ready. We're gonna start sacrificing some goats. Luka's about to get injured. He'll be back next season, but he'll get injured.
Yeah, KP still hasn't been back to form. He stayed injured.
I saw it when Cleveland came to town, when LeBron was there and they took the train. They were on the 6 train or whatever it was. And they came, they were just like all, elated, and then they came to the Garden and they punked Porzingis.
Yeah.
That's when I saw. I was like, it was the last straw for me. Like in terms of you gotta hit the weight room, bro. And then the whole thing happened with the injury, and his brother was supposed to be an agent.
That was like 2 years ago. How you leave 2 years ago? That just happened.
Because because even though they might get lucky, I think we're going back to the same time. Because they might get lucky with the trade. At the end of the day, you don't just trade a dude. What was it for? It wasn't for a draft pick, right? It was for
they traded KP for they traded KP, Courtney Lee, let's see, Tim Hardaway Jr. Trey Burke for the Dallas 2021 unprotected pick, 2023 protected pick, Dennis Smith Jr. and I might be missing something like that. But it was mainly for the picks, yeah.
But they were
for cap space, basically.
Cap space, and they were already in the lottery. So they were that, like, it didn't matter to me. Like, it didn't make sense to me. It was a trade that did not make sense. You didn't have to re-sign Porzingis. You could have traded him the next year for a better trade. To me, it was just a bad trade.
Mm-hmm.
The next year he was going to be on his last year in the contract. You would have gotten a better deal, and you would have had Leon Rose coming in with that scenario. I'd rather that. Like, if you knew you were in talks to get a new general manager and you pulled that off, it was dumb, and it was Dolan again. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. But I'm back. Stop bringing up old shit, Z.
All right. Matter of fact, you got it. Since you're back right now, we'll see. I don't know. I gotta ask Knicks Nation. I'm not sure how we feel about you jumping back onto the bandwagon because we won game over 500 now. Like, you're back now. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
I was looking at them from across the street. I was,
Ray helps host a show about the Nets.
Yo, B, if you ain't noticed, right? if If you ain't noticed,
I love you, bro. I love you, man. I love you, bro.
B doesn't notice certain like sneaky stuff. This is why I'm, it's always Queens all day. That's orange and blue up there, baby. You think that was a mistake on the mic? It's blue and orange on the mic. That's what we bleed out here.
QN. But it's black in the background.
Yo. Z, stop letting it do between us.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I gotta sleep on this. I'm not sure how I feel about this because you was rocking with us like you was a legit Knicks fan, and then you came. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna bring up the past. You say you back. All right. Okay.
Yo, Z, when I tell you I'm a Knicks fan, like I want to wring people's neck. When that thing happened with Insanity, I was disgusted. Knicks fans trying to come. They don't. You don't watch basketball, bro. You don't watch basketball. If you're trying to tell me about if this is a good trade or not, if that was a good signing, if Melo didn't, then you're gonna say Melo didn't hate on him.
Yeah, Linsanity was different. That was a different time. That was a fun week, but that was different.
Yo, can we talk about that? Can we please talk about that briefly?
Sure.
Like, I was rooting for the Knicks when Linsanity happened. That was a beautiful run, man. It was great for the city. It was great to see, man. To see Jeremy Lin go up against the Lakers on that Sunday against Kobe. Or was it that? It was that Friday night against the Lakers and show out.
He dropped like what 30?
Yo, that was incredible. That's it was great, yeah. And he was popping threes like it was nothing. Kobe was pissed, but Kobe after he gave him his props. Like just seeing that, I was like, wow, like this is dope, man. And the fact that Carmelo hated on him, I was just like, damn, like the potential that could have become.
Yep.
Like if you'd have kept that nucleus, and if Carmelo would have embraced Jeremy Lin, man, like the possibilities that could have came from that. They had a good team, man. I thought they had a good core there. But
I'm not even saying that Jeremy Lin was the answer. I'm saying that, like, what pissed me off more were Knicks fans trying to tell me what a good deal was. It was with the Rockets that he signed a 3. It was an offer sheet from the Rockets because he was a restricted free agent. 3 years, $25 million, 5, 5, and 15. So I said that once they traded for Felton was, I forgot where, Portland or Carolina, or it wasn't on Charlotte back then.
I forgot, yeah.
Yeah, but
I forgot where he's at.
Okay. Was it OKC?
He might have been.
He was somewhere. I can't remember. I don't remember.
I think it was OKC at that time. I don't know. Yeah.
They had Jason Kidd on the bench, so I thought they traded for Felton, and then they had Jeremy Lin. They had a chance to sign an offer sheet. I'm thinking like, yo, you gotta go sign Jeremy Lin. You'll have a 3-headed monster at point guard. That's beautiful. So once Melo came out and hated, and then all the other Knicks fans were like, oh, you don't watch basketball. They punked him. Miami punked him. I said, okay, Miami punked him. Well, when was the last time you heard anybody ever game plan for Raymond Felton? Never. That was my issue. They came out and he's preaching racism today. I said they've been racist towards you, Jeremy Lin. Miami Heat they've been discriminating.
Yeah.
Discriminating. They were discriminated against you like 8 years ago, bro.
They wasn't calling them coronavirus. They was calling them SARS. Like, oh, we don't need SARS. We don't need that. We don't need bird flu. Like,
yo, is you gonna make it be? Yo, be
bad. I remember, bro. It was bad.
Linsanity stopped. Yeah, Linsanity stopped in Miami because the Heels, that's when they did the Heels back then. They shut him down.
Yeah.
They had that guy shook, and I was like, oh wow. I was watching that game like talking mad shit at school, like, yo, listen, they shut him down.
Yeah, but
my thing is they didn't give him time. I ain't minded because he needed that. Every player who had like a great week or they started game planning for him, so he needed that. I don't think we had J. Kidd on the bench at that time. We signed J. Kidd possibly the year after. I think so.
It was the same off season. It was the same off season that that he was offered the contract. So I thought they were gonna have a three-headed monster at point.
But they didn't want to sign up. They called it a poison pill. It was called a poison pill kind of contract because it was like you said, 5, 5, and 15.
Right.
Like it at the end. But looking back, the Knicks are smart for not signing that because look what Jeremy Lin did. Look what happened to him after that. He went from the Rockets. He went from the Rockets to like 3 different teams. I think it's Melo fans. I say Melo stands. I call them stands. Melo stands will never say that that he hated on Jeremy Lin. But I listened and watched too many Knicks reports, Knicks all that, and all the reporters who's Melo biased will tell him that Melo was the one who kind of nudged him out the door. Even Tyson Chandler and Mari Stoudemire said they was like, yeah, everybody wasn't cool with LINSANITY at the time, and they left it at that. And reporters asked him, so who wasn't cool with it? And they would just walk away. And if it had to be somebody of stature at that time. And my thing is, at the end of the day, that's a perfect point guard for Melo. That Melo needed a point guard like that when it came down to it. And I'm sure he looks back saying, damn, I messed up. Because that's the point guard he needed.
Yo, as a outsider looking in on that situation, like when I remember when it happened, like I remember Melo, like when LINSANITY started happening, when he started going on a streak and winning games, helping them win games, Melo was hurt, and then he came back in between LINSANITY, and it was just taking off. It was like a wildfire. And Omari and Tyson Chandler and those guys, forgot the
whole bench was everybody was hyped.
Playing at that.
It was
everyone.
Landry Fields. It was everybody.
Yeah. Listen, the way they were playing phenomenal ball, and the chemistry was there. Like it was fun to watch. Like you talk about me not watching Knicks games. I was watching Knicks games around that time. Like it was just fun to watch.
I think everybody was at that point.
Everyone was watching, especially if you were from New York. You were watching that. You was watching that run. And like again, going back to that Lakers game, that Friday night on ESPN, it was incredible to see. And then when they ran into the Miami that Sunday game and they shut him down, it was like, damn. But still,
they had him shook.
Still, man.
Yeah,
they had him shook. And I think Melo probably was, he's on the banana boat. He probably told Wade and Braun, like, yo, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, yo, you got to lock this dude down. He getting too much hype. But still, it worked against him. And then when they didn't match the contract from the Rockets, the Knicks, I just felt like, damn. Like, this dude really, like, he gave y'all energy. He gave y'all chemistry. He had the bench riding for him. Like, they were winning games. And there's something about that. Even if you're not that great of a player, it's the fact that your team had that chemistry and you were going on such a good run. Like, it's something like you got to keep together, man. And I just felt like Melo embraced it at first when he came back, but he didn't fully embrace it. And
because Melo was still young. He was still young. He didn't understand he needed teammates like that. Like he needed somebody who can. He hated the fact that Jeremy Lin was getting all that kind of shine for some reason. I don't know why. And it's crazy because I'm not sure if it was around the time, but I think Tony Douglas was Melo's point guard at that time, around the time. And I used to work at McDonald's. Tony Douglas came in there twice one time. He came in there twice when I worked there. It was like late night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He came in there smacked with like 3 girls around him. Like, yo, can I get 3 McChickens? I'm like, that's Tony Douglas? I'm like, yo, I'm a Knicks fan. He's like, oh, that's what's up, bro. I'm like, shouldn't you be in the gym right now, no? And it's happened like 3 times during the season. I'm like, yo, it's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yo, you should be in the gym or at least in the bed right now. Like, my guy. He's like, yeah. He's like, yo, that's what's up. You want an autograph? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. But now was Melo's starting point guard. Meanwhile, Jeremy Lin LINSANITY is out here doing what he got to do, and he ate on him. It's like,
and his excuse, Melo was hurt at the time. His excuse was going to be that he's the one that helped push him to even get into the game and everything. Yeah. So if anyone, sometimes we get those crazy comments on YouTube. I know, trust me, I know what went down. I was watching, and it wasn't no secret reports after a while. It was none of that. Melo flat out said it. Like, yo, that's way too much money for him. He flat out came out and said it. That's what pissed me off. And then the rumors were that they were still flirting with Isaiah Thomas. I say, yo, come on, man. Yo, listen, these are the things that piss me off about James Dolan, bro. That's why I'm just like, yo, when they got Porzingis and you didn't know, all right, you're going to trade him? You got to trade him do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? The Mavericks want him bad because you can tell they want to pair Luka up with another great white hope. Yo, be smart about it. Give 10 draft picks out of that motherfucker. That was all. And then, so, you know what? Saturday was a great time. Do you have any other favorite Knick moments, Knick time period? Is it just the 90s? The Sprewell run with Allen Houston in '99?
I'll say my favorite Knicks time. I'll say Sprewell is my favorite Knick ever. That's my favorite Knick ever. I remember like our pops used to come over to my crib and he'll be chilling, drinking his Heineken as always, and he'll be watching Knicks. I was young at this time, watching Knicks game. I wouldn't know what the Knicks are, but I'll watch it with him. That's how I became a Knicks fan. But Sprewell is my Knick ever, my favorite Knick ever. Besides that, I'll say possibly the Knicks tape era, the 2012, 2013, when Melo was a scoring champ, top 3 MVP. JL was 6th man of the year. Tyson Chandler was defensive player of the year, or probably I think in the running. Like that team was fun. That team was fun to watch. Besides that, everything was like, it was cool. Like Marbury era was cool. I remember we got Marbury, but it was cool. But I say 2013 Knicks tape era and this Knicks team right here, because I thought that Knicks tape era was sustainable. I thought it was gonna be sustainable. That's why I like certain Knicks moments, because I thought it'd be sustainable. This Knicks team right here, yeah. So I'll say probably the like I said, Knicks tape era, LINSANITY, it was cool. And this team right here. I'm
a little bit older, I guess, because
that's why, because I wasn't really that old enough to really appreciate the LJ 4-point play and Sprewell, the Ewan missing the finger roll. I was old, but I wasn't paying attention that much to it. Like I was around during that time, but yeah.
Yo, when Patrick Ewing, I don't know what was worse.
That was a classic game.
I don't know what was worse. When Patrick Ewing missed the finger roll, or when he scored. No, or Starks was bad because everyone was saying Rolando Blackman just came off the bench or whatever, but Olajuwon blocked the shot. It was a great series. We went to the chip. We weren't supposed to win the chip, bro. To be honest with you, they messed up. We knew we could have had Sprewell in '93. That was the rumor back then. Trading.
I did hear about that. Yeah,
I didn't know why they didn't make that trade, but that was an ill era. It was bully ball. It was like bully on defense ball, and I don't know what hurt worse, when Ewing missed the finger roll or when he scored 1 point against the Pacers. That on that going to school at the school lunchroom was painful. 1 point, 1 free throw. You can't talk. You can't talk 1 point. You only got 1 point to make today. It was like you couldn't say nothing.
Right.
And when he missed the finger roll, I was in some video class and we were rewinding the tape over and over again. We were watching whether he walked or not. Why is he walking? Like, it was all type of shit, man. But the Reggie Miller play at the end, the '90s Knicks were fun to watch. It was I don't know if I've ever seen a crowd like MSG from the '90s on television. That was like a college atmosphere. Everybody that's ever been to a Knicks game, they would all tell me the same thing. Yo, that was the most fun. Only St. John's of the late '80s was as hyped as that. So we missed that. So again, going back to Brooklyn, I don't, and if they could take over the city, there's still nothing like MSG when it's on fire. That shit is like old Yankee Stadium on fire. It's a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I get that,
man. It's the Garden. Like the Garden is a historic venue, historic arena, the world's greatest arena. Like you can't overtop that, man. Like I said earlier, like the Knicks, like just playing at the Garden. If you could win here, like you'd be celebrated for life. Especially you win that
That's
Madison
what it
Square
is.
Garden. It's just something.
Mm-hmm.
Even for Michael Jordan coming here, he called it the Mecca. Like he loved performing here. Like it's the center focus of the sports world was Madison Square Garden, man. It's nothing like it. That feel of how the Garden was in the 90s for us, like that could remember. Like it was unprecedented. It was the biggest ticket in town. It's before the Yankees were winning the World Series. So it was a Knicks town essentially. And I mean, you know, of course the late 80s you had the Mets. And I remember going, our dad taking us to Shea Stadium to those Mets games, like during like 89, like they won in 86, but they still had a good team from 86, 87, 88, 89, like that run. I remember going to Shea for that. But the Garden during the 90s was the number one ticket in town. If you got a Knicks ticket 90s in the like early 90s, mid 90s, you was the man. Like, oh, you went to the Knicks game last night? Like, it was just something different about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It felt different. And you know, I'm a Nets fan, but yo, come on. You cannot deny the power and the charisma of Madison Square Garden. And if you're a Knicks fan, and if the Knicks win in this city, in our city, it's just different. Simple as that. Man.
Yeah, it's the fact. Yeah.
Yeah, you just reminded me we had a lot of loser moments in the 90s too. When Charles Smith that was embarrassing. Going to school for that. That was bad.
The ball. 93.
I did know B was a Bulls fan, but I forgot that he's going to school being a Jordan fan. Like, I used to hate these people, Z. They used to come like,
I was rocking my Jordan all through the halls. Dude, yo, cats.
Hey, I should have jumped him.
Yeah.
Bulls jersey on? Nah, that wasn't happening. Yo, it was, bro, it was the best. It was the best. I loved it. I was a troll. I loved it. It was crazy. I had a John Starks jersey. I love John Starks, man. That was my dude on the Knicks. Him and Charles Oakley. Like, but still.
Oakley might be my
Jordan's the man. Jordan gave the Knicks nightmares. And Raymundo. Oak is the man, bro. I don't care who, what. Mike Jordan was mad when the Knicks, when the Bulls traded him. He was pissed. That was his enforcer.
Because every team needs,
when they got
every team needs a
right
goon.
for.
Yep. Like, every superstar wants a goon next to them. Who can hold them down. Like Oakley and Anthony Mason, like those were Patrick Ewing goons. You touch Pat, they coming at you.
Ewing was difficult to watch too, but he's still the best Knick ever, and I don't even know.
Yeah, my thing is funny because if you watch a Knick game, Walt Clyde Frazier will always say Patrick Ewing's the second greatest Knick ever. After him, because he bought
who? Yeah, who was the first?
Him,
Earl or himself?
No, himself. No, he said himself. Walt Clyde Frazier. He bought 2 championships to New York.
I never heard him say that.
Yeah,
but he said it jokingly, but he's serious.
Yeah.
He said Patrick Ewing's the second greatest Knick ever. It makes you can't argue with 2 championships in New York.
I met Clyde.
I did too. Yeah, Clyde. Yo,
I met Clyde.
Clyde's cool.
Yo, cool dude, bro. Fly.
Yes.
To move. You mean shit like he's that guy. Like he's that guy, bro.
He ain't a better Knick than Patrick Ewing. He got to stop. Show some respect.
He poured 2.
2 rings. You can't argue 2. You can't argue 2 rings. You cannot argue two rings.
Yeah,
two rings.
Pat.
Yeah,
I didn't
two
see
of them things.
I didn't see Clyde play, but our pops and like my godfather, like those they're old school Knicks fans. Like the way they talk about him and they talk about Earl of Pearl and they talk about, of course, oh my God, my man that came out limping.
Willis
Reed.
Like
Dave
that was
the
just a different time, especially like think about it for Dave the Busher. Even like Phil Jackson, but he wasn't the greatest player on the team, but he was a part of those teams. But just the way they talk about them, like if you sit down, you talk to an old school Knicks fans from like the 60s and 70s, and you talk about those 2 championships that they won, the way they talk about those players, man, is different. Like it's a different feel, man. Hearing it from them. But I love Pat. Pat is my favorite. But yeah, I agree with you.
No, you can't. Patrick Ewing is the best Knick ever. I don't understand this argument. Walt Clyde Frazier's out of his mind for everything, and he will be ever as important to a team as Patrick Ewing was to the '90s Knicks.
How can you say that? He brought 2 rings to the.
He did not bring 2 rings to the Knicks. That entire team that we just named did that. Patrick Ewing brought him to the championship, and Patrick Ewing went toe to toe. Everyone always shits on him because Elijah won.
We all love Pat. We all love Pat.
Finger roll,
right?
I love Pat.
Yo, look up Walt Clyde Frazier's finals stats though. Like Walt Clyde Frazier's stats in the finals. I think he was like he had like a 36 points, like 19 assists, 5 steal game in the finals or some shit like that. Some crazy like that in the finals. You can't argue that.
He was fresh in his youth. Patrick Ewing, he lost Bernard King, bro. He didn't get Sprewell. Do you understand these trades that I was flipping my textbook over? You can never tell me that nobody's better than Patrick Ewing. He suffered. He's like Jesus. He got crucified, bro. They did him dirty. I was sick of it. After a while, I had the same feeling everybody else did in the 90s. Oh, Ewing came up short, whatever. But then I thought about it. If it wasn't for Patrick Ewing, the Knicks would have been nobody. And they took the Bulls to 7 games. Like, come on now. The Pacers, they copied the Knicks game. They didn't go to the championship until the late 90s either. Ewing deserves way more credit than what he gets. He gets slandered, man. It's bad. And 2 bad knees.
He does. He gets slandered. But I can't argue between him and Walt. Like Walt is that guy. I never watched Walt play because shit. But his stat line and what he did for the Knicks, he bought 2 rings. At the end of the day, 2 rings eclipse anything Pat have ever done for the Knicks.
Jesus Christ!
It's 2 rings. I can see if it's 1. It's 2 rings.
See, but I'm a guy that I think the whole ring argument is overrated. Like, that's foul. You can't control your team. Like, that's why LeBron left Cleveland. Jordan was threatening to leave Chicago. Kobe was crying to get traded from the Lakers. Nobody remembers any of this. Let's not forget any of this. Patrick Ewing did not go in front of reporters or crying on TV, and they failed him. They didn't get a squad until 99.
Mike almost came to New York.
Yeah.
According to Jay-Z.
No one talks about
Hold on a second, y'all. Sorry, my fault.
Go ahead.
93. That 92, 93 season, Mike almost came to New York. Him and Pat Riley are good friends. Great friends. Mike was downstairs at Madison Square Garden ready to make that happen. That's documented. But then the Bulls actually went out their way and made the better deal. But he was ready. He would have been Mike was ready to be a Knick. Because Pat was one of his boys too, and he loved Pat Riley. That almost happened.
So what are we saying? If he leaves the Bulls are done. Done. And I'm a Knicks fan. You put Jordan on those Knicks?
Bro, dynasty. You know what? I always wanted to talk about this. because Jordan talks about it a lot. He brings it up. Oakley brings it up. Like, yo, no one knows how close Michael Jordan was coming to becoming a Knick. Like, him and Pat Riley, they still great friends. Him and Patrick Ewing, still great friends. Him and Charles Oakley, the best of friends. Like, Jordan was ready because he hated that front office in Chicago. And he was like, all right, bet. He was in New York, ready to make that deal until the Chicago got in their senses and was like, all right, no, we got to give Mike this money. If he goes to the Knicks, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
There's nobody stopping that team with that defense and those players. You're Michael Jordan with Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing and Anthony Mason and John. Come on, son. Come on, Pat Riley coaching Jordan and Ewing? Bro, I can't front. The fact that when I first found that out years ago when Michael Jordan said it, I was hyped because I was like, damn, if Mike would have been a Knick, this town would have exploded. The amount of championships this team would have had, this town would have had. I always wanted to have this conversation. It's the first time I'm having this conversation, bro. I love it. Damn. Mike, yo, damn. Michael's the Knick. Wow.
You didn't. That was it. You had to drink to that. I remember the front page of the paper.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, it was the front page of the newspaper. They put the Knick jersey on Jordan. This is what happens. They put a Knick Jordan on Jordan. They put a Knick jersey on Jordan. Z, if I'm not mistaken, on the front page of the paper, Daily News, and we were all like, hype. Jesus is coming.
Listen, how big does Jordan? Jordan, Mike was big in Chicago. Imagine Mike
in New York
in a Knicks jersey at the Garden every night. He loved playing at the Garden. Him, Patrick Ewing, and Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, John Starks. Like, just, yo, Pat Riley's your coach. Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing are leading the team.
New York will
Who's
be different.
beating that team in the 90s? Nobody. Fucking body. Michael Jordan said it, yo, he was minutes away from signing that fucking contract. He was right there. It was right there on the table.
Okay, why didn't he? He said.
Crazy, bro. I was so hyped. Because the Bulls actually, they finally came to their senses. Jerry Reinsdorf and the other Jerry that Michael Jordan hate, Jerry Krause, finally came to their senses like, yo, we got to pick a guy. Between the 92 season, after they won the chip in 92 against Portland, like that deal for the Knicks for 93 was going to happen.
That would have been wild.
And they came to they put up that money. But, bro, imagine Michael Jordan in New York. Like, yo, bro, there's no one beating that. They're beating Houston. 93, they're beating Phoenix. They're beating Houston. They're beating Houston again. The Bulls are not going to be where they're at. Yo, bro, who's stopping that team?
Yeah, nah. No one.
Come on, man.
Knicks will have at least a good, I'll say, at least 2 championships in the 90s if Jordan was signed. At least 2. At least.
I say more.
Not say at least. It could be more, but I say at least 2.
Pat Riley doesn't leave if Michael Jordan's there.
Oh, hell no. No. Pat stays.
Pat Riley's not leaving. He's not going he's not taking a hiatus, and he's then a few years later going to Miami. He's staying in New York, and they're building it, and they're giving Pat Riley that autonomy, like you said earlier. It's a different game. I mean, these are what ifs, but that almost happened. This is documented. This almost happened, man. So we could.
I think Jordan said this in the Last Dance, didn't he? Did he bring this up, or was it somebody else bring this up?
I think somebody else brought it up. I don't think he mentioned it.
Okay.
But
the first,
you know what?
I didn't think it was true growing up. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a rumor, and then Jay-Z put it in the book, and he said we were sitting down at dinner, and I think it was Juan that was at the table, and he said, "Yo," he wanted to fuck with Juan because he was cool with Jordan. He was like, "Yo, tell him how close you were signing with the Knicks." He's like, man, get the fuck out of here. He was like, I was dead ass gonna sign with them, and it floored him.
Yep.
Because as a Knicks fan, you're like that. Because I remember that moment.